Inaugural Tucson Construction Weave Championship here from the stunning Teddy Valley Golf and Resort. What was supposed to be the third round the day after the cut and the time for the field to create some separation is in fact moving day. The day to try and position yourselves into a spot to be in contention for the final round tomorrow after strong winds ended up canceling the opening round of this tournament, moving it from 4 to 3. We find ourselves live for the middle third, and we find ourselves very much in a race for the top. Our co-leaders at 8 under par, with lots of golf to be played on this wonderful Saturday in Soguipo-Shi. An effort from off the green. Would love to be able to tell you who played that shot up, but the graphics haven't caught up to our side of the broadcast just yet. What I can tell you is that there are a combined 13 players within 3 strokes of the lead, chasing 2 at the top. Kim Min-sun, 7, is one of them. That was a chance for birdie and the outright lead to finish the second round, but she and Lee Soo-jin, 3, currently sharing the top spot at 8 under par. On the second hole, Imi Jung, she has been battling both her golf and her physical health this season. She was in a pretty nasty car accident earlier in the year, and so much of 2023 has just been getting herself back into good health, let alone good golf shape. She is +4 and is scrapping and clawing to try and make the cut, but she is 4 strokes off the pace. Anything over even right now would not be enough to see you qualify for tomorrow's final rounds. EA1, after an opening round that saw oh so many pars, she has finally found her birdies, 5 now on the day, to 6 under in a share of third position. Pak Young, she is putting for birdie. 4 back. Long way back across the width of this green. Not quite all the way there. So her round quite literally just beginning. It'll be consecutive pars to begin. Let's go to 3. Lee So-young. This is a look at birdie. She is 5 under par after an unbelievable start to this tournament. And here it comes back online. This looks good. Not quite on the line at the bitter end. Min-ji, one more hole to the good. She is +3 after an even par 72 and is very much at risk of missing the cut. Imi Jung also pushing this putt. So just 2 holes into the round and over par for the day. Kim Soo-ji on the par 5 fourth. Dog-leg left hole. She found the extreme right of the fairway to begin. And she goes right at the pin with a high lofted wedge. Will land and roll back maybe a foot. And we'll have that look at a birdie. Kim Jung, she is going with hybrid on the par 3. Center is ideal. She's a little bit left, but pin high. Coordinating the outfits, apparently, with Peng Minji today. More major championships in this group today than you could count on one hand. Star-studded is an understatement. Unfortunately, it has not clicked for Amy Jung and Peng Minji to this point in the tournament, and the former at the right depth, but is off the green. She needs to find at least 2 strokes in the next 16 holes to make the cut. She certainly has that ability. Does she have the execution? Her iron shot is nice and tight. Great look at a birdie for her when she arrives at the green. Ijumi at number 5 will bounce just before the fringe. Slight kick to the left. Chung Yoon-ji on her penultimate hole. That's a brilliant finish. The birdies that eluded her yesterday, well, she's found them today. 4 now with 1 hole to play. She's just 3 off the lead. Move along to the 5th. High bounce, just at the border of the fringe for Lee Jung-mi, and she's gone to the left side of the green. That has par spelt all over it. Kim Soo-ji also early doors. 3 shots on this 4th hole. Has her with an uphill look at a bird. Shouldn't be a ton of break here. Fairly straight shot. And that's a brilliant birdie. Back to back now, 3 and 4, tied for 15th. 4 off the pace of our co-leaders. Shen Yi-song, a nice drive to begin this 6th hole. Her approach down. Brilliant bit of backspin, keep her nice and tight. Type of birdie anyone would dream about. Simple putt to try and pick up another in the early stages of her 2nd round. Back to the par 3, Imi Jung, just a slight loft. Wanted to carry it definitely a bit more than that. Barely past the fringe and still about 4 meters shy of what will be her par putt. Yeah, one is definitely one of the most informed players on the course right now. Only a 71 in the first round. This is her second to last hole, and she is within 2. She can most definitely work with that front right location for the pin in this second round, and she goes right at it. Park Young, this is a chance to move within 3, and she's got it there. That spells wonderful things for this round. Her first birdie, and highlighted, underlined, and an exclamation point at the end of it. Brilliant putt. She moves into a tie for 5th position. One of the players she is level with is ENG on her penultimate hole here as well today. Lands and does not move much more than a foot, and it goes closer to the pin. So 229 meters off the tee, leaving Kim In-sun 7, just over 100. Her approach on the final hole of her round. Trying to run that up to the middle part of this green, up on that back step, but she isn't even able to stay on the green. Up to the right. This now becomes a par save opportunity for Amy Jung, but she walked that in, and not in a good way. So bogey. Some wobbles and bobbles early in the round, back-to-back 2 and 3, and is 6 shots over our projected cut line. No such problems to start the round for Lee Jung-min, and this is just narrowly going to miss to the inside left of the hole. Min-ji trying to respond to a brilliant birdie from Park Young, but slightly offline, and as that putt was going downhill, picked up more than enough speed at the end to go missed. And Ijumi at number 5. Down it comes, breaks a little bit early. Quick reset and confirming her par with a tiny tap. And now par save for Park Min-ji. Stays at +2 through 21 holes in her return to the KLPGA Tour. High expectations for herself, as you'd expect for someone who has won the lion's share of the tournaments these past 3 years. Go to 18. High lofted recovery shot from Kim In-sun, 7 to just a couple of feet shy. Should be able to have that par, and that par would confirm her as a co-leader as she exits the course. The 351-meter par 4 ninth is next, and we find a little bit of trouble with a hooked driver into the trees in and around the cart path, and still 129 to play. So obviously not this shot, and if it is, that is the telemetry acting up. We'll try and iron out those wrinkles, but it is Pengxin Shiel. Her approach all the way to the back and will stop just before the border of the fringe. Imjini has just 2 holes to go. Just a hair over 3 meters as she tries to close the gap to 2 strokes. She hardly gave that a tap. Trying to navigate the hill more so than the left to right break, and it's not nearly as close as she needed it to be. She'll have to settle for a par with her 18th and final hole of the round to come next. Gun with that massive TaylorMade driver in hand. Set to begin the first par 5 of her round. She was sniffing around the top last week in Jeju. Could not convert on enough birdies in the home stretch to push for what would have been her 4th career title. She is in great position with lots of her tournament still to be played. Chen Sung within 3. This is a putt for birdie at number 6. Little bit of break and the weight is perfect. Tied for 3rd now. Goes back to where she had started the day. She had been a co-leader at the end of round number 1. And Hung Yumin, her final hole of the day. Very intricate line towards the hole, and it is slightly off right. Down in the tie for 20th, definitely not the day she had envisioned, 68 in the first round. She'll go 73 in round number 2 in a tie for 20th. Kimerin with the par 3 bounces off the green, but finds its way back on, and that will be pin high. But an 8-meter putt from the pin's right. Another near birdie, this from Kim Sol, our low amateur of the tournament thus far. And the national team player pars out and will start tomorrow's round 2 under par. EA1 has been on an unbelievable run of form today. That putt for birdie could have moved her within 1. She'll have to settle for a par. And Kim Soo-ji on her approach at 5-4 with a 9-iron. Everyone here slightly left, but everyone realistically in with a chance at a birdie. There's Pengxin Shiel Just a little tap to get it started. Needed that for a bogey. She's going to be at least +2 and missing the cut for consecutive tournaments here on Jeju Island. Simple par putt, and Kim Min-sun 7 will be a co-leader as she signs her scorecard in the clubhouse today. Little right to left, left to right from our vantage point. She's able to finish out with a wonderful second round. 4 birdies, 1 bogey, and 8 under through 36 holes. Hung Yumin goes out with 38, 2 over, in with the 35, 73 on this Saturday is confirmed. A tasty approach. Birdie definitely on the cards for Lee So-young late in her second round. Peng Xin-jiu, well, it was going to be little to do other than her final classification, but that was a putt for double bogey. She's going to triple her 36th and what will be final hole of the week. That is about worst case scenario. And a back nine to forget. 2 bogeys, a triple. Couple of strokes picked up, but it won't reflect, and it's not enough to qualify for tomorrow's final round. Over to 7. On, but not her best. She'd be the first to admit that. A warm burner right in this fairway, and be a fairly straight shot next on her approach. Shortchanged on that approach. Just need at least one more, and hopefully just the one more. Park Hyung-gun, her second at the par 5. What will be her 9th hole tomorrow is her final hole today. Lee So-young misses just a short 4-footer. And ends the round with a bit of a whimper. Wait, was there? The line slightly misjudged. Here's how things shake up as we near the bottom of the clock, our first hour of 3. 120 in the field, the projected cut at even, and co-leaders with 36 hole scores of 8 under. Isu Jin 3 and Kimin Sun 7. An additional 4, one back at 6 under, and from there, quite a popular range of 9 players. At 5 under par, including Pak Young Young, who we will see plenty of in this second round.
좋아.
Wonderful to have you all aboard for our second round here at the Tucson Construction Weave Championship. A gorgeous day. 29 degrees, sunny, and just hovering around 2 meters per second on our winds today. This is Park Young. Been anything but a straightforward hole. Gets it nice and tight to join the rest of her group with what should just be one putt finishes. First, we're really seeing Aviso Me this week at 2 under. Her approach shot on the 5th, about the middle. Not much more to say, positive or negative, about that. It is on the green. That's about as good as we can say. And now Jung Yoon Ji, this birdie, less than 2 meters out, and she's within 2. A breathtaking, scintillating, wonderful, pick your adjective, second round, a 67, and is within 2 after 36 holes. Well, to say Lee So-young went right with her tee shot would be a bit of an understatement. Just at the border of the out of bounds paint on the right side of the rough. Recovers decently well. Nobody in this group particularly close to a birdie here. And Peng Min-ji's going to have to wait one more for that first birdie of the day. Seven iron on the final hole of the day for EA1. Started 142 from the pin, sends that about 150 meters all in. No Park Young. A birdie to move her within 2 with 14 holes to go, and she is absolutely dialed in to start this Saturday moving day. Back to back now, tied for third. Much better, good bounce back. Here's Amy Jung. About 4 feet for a birdie, and she's pushed it. And if there was ever some symbolism for the round and the tournament thus far, that would be it. Kim Soo-ji buried in the rough, playing her second with a 9-iron. It is a bounce and roll onto the green, but she will still be doing some hard work to try and save a par. Pakyangang misses this fairway. He's gone right into the rough. Not quite ready to sound the alarm bells for Peng Min-ji, but she's definitely going to need to find some birdies. Ideally at least one, if not two, before the turn. She's off to a good start. Amy Jung continues to drive well, but she definitely needs that putter to join the fray and contribute to some birdies. Final hole of the second round, Eve Ginny with a look at a birdie. Starts left, is going to straighten out, and that is making a beeline for the target. Just one bogey in the second round, 4 birdies. She is within 2. Considering the fact she is the reigning champion on this tour, we cannot count her out for tomorrow. The line probably would have been there with a little bit more speed, but no birdies made. A par for Kim Soo-ji, now EA1 from the fringe, needs to move left. Stay straight and won't be able to gain any final ground in a round where she has done so much climbing. It's a bogey-free 67 by day's end. Pacquiao couldn't have read that putt any better. Finally gets her first birdie of the day here at number 6 after back-to-back bogeys to start the round. Buck Jeong is one of 12 players tied at 3 under. It is a 71 in her second round. Birdies at 17 and 7, and a bogey at number 10. Well, it is a near perfect read, and the approach comes to rest just 4 feet shy of target for Peng Min-ji. And a little less directly at the pin for Mimi Jung, who's definitely fighting it today. And with plenty of green to work with, unfortunately, Park Young-kyung finds none of it. Kime Reem, 2.5 meters up she needs to climb. She is able to find the green, but well right. And now Chen Yi-sung has 11 greens left to find just 2 strokes. Like a magnet just beyond the fringe. Well, we are being absolutely spoiled with Halasan as our backdrop for the second consecutive week. About 30 minutes south of Blackstone, where we contested last week's event. We are here for the inaugural Doosan Construction Weave Championship. 120 players in the field for a 1.2 billion won purse, and 2 players at the moment sharing the lead at 8 under. So Chen Yi-sung picks up another birdie. The consecutive opportunity goes amiss, and now chance to make a 2 from 3. It's always going to be a tricky putt with the uphill nature and the break to the left, and no dice for Kim Hye-rim. Over to 5, where Park Hyun-kyung with some troubles off the tee. In a battle to save a par. And she's just by the skin of her teeth going to sneak that inside. 5 holes down, 2 strokes gained, still tied for 4th. This is Kim Soo-ji for a birdie. On its way back, just a little heavy, otherwise that would have been there. And Peng Min-ji to move within 1 of the projected cut, but that putt is pulled. Have to settle for a par would be mystifying. All the way to the end of the fairway. On 6, buck 15 and a pitching wedge. Has our work cut out for a little bit. There's Pacquiao, also in a scrap to try and make the cut. From the right side of this green, she's going to get that to fall. Back-to-back birdies now after going consecutive to start the round. She is +2. Another still belongs to Park Hyun-kyung. First to tee off on the 6th. She's settling into a little bit of a rhythm here. Love for that putter to get on board. Luckily, the front side of the screen is nice and wide. From an unlucky perspective, from Eugenie, she is well off her target. So Young. A little bit of right break. Comes a touch early. She will settle for a par. So we're near the end of our opening hour of coverage of this second round. This is how we fare in terms of the conditions. The weather today, picture perfect. Nearly 30 degrees, hardly any wind, and a very comfortable forecast. This inaugural playing of the Tucson ENC Weave Championship from Teddy Valley Golf and Resort. 6,160 meters, this par 72 championship course.
일부 투어 목표보다는 일단 시드 받자는 목표로 했는데 이렇게 너무 갑작스럽게 빨리 우승이 나와가지고 아무래도 20등 안에 들어서 정규 투어 가는 게 지금 목표인 것 같습니다.
Well, the Muon Country Club was no exception to the intense weather we've seen this week after the typhoon rolled in. But at the end of the tournament, Kim Hain needed 2 playoff holes to find her first ever win, and she leaps up on the jump tour. Well, we certainly got the worst and the most voracious of the weather out early in the week. Brilliant day today, maybe a little bit of showers tomorrow afternoon, but otherwise pristine conditions for a championship tournament here at Teddy Valley. Peng Minji goes to the right of the green. You can tell she is still trying to rediscover the control, the form. Hasn't quite been on it to start this tournament. Here's Lee So-young at the par 3 7th, going with 8 iron. She's going to get a fortuitous kick and can most definitely work with that as she tries to navigate a bogey. Birdie, excuse me. Park Young, as if she had drawn it up, nestles in beside Peng Minji on that right side of the green. We'll go to 9 in the interim. Chen Ye-sung in the rough. Hoping she didn't use up all of her birdies yesterday. Definitely off the mark again here, short and right. Lee Jung-min at 8. Right at the pin, and will be rewarded for a brilliant execution there. Long way back at the 5th for Kimi Reem, barely on the green. Plays it through the middle, riding the valley, and just coming up about a foot short. It'll be the simplest of tap-in pars. Clock has just struck 2 p.m. local time. Here is Park Yang-kyung. The first 2 looks at a birdie. Nearly there. Two-putt par. But some confidence she can develop from that putter. Really good effort. And Lee Jung-min on the par 5 8th. Brilliant approach, sets up a simple birdie. She has gone up again and finds herself tied for 16th with her second birdie of the day. Min-ji another chance to move within 1 of the projected cut line, but it's always going to be a big ask. Tap and par, she lives to fight another day. There's Chun Ye-sung, another outside look at a birdie, this time at 9. If she holds out, she shares the lead. Starting it on its run uphill. Her miss is going to be to the outside right. Definitely needed to give that a good crack to put it back into the mixer. And a downhill effort for Lee So-young, perched above the hole. Still has 13 greens left. This could move her within 1. Barely touches it to get it started, but the line doesn't accompany it. She's in the fight. She will stay in the fight. We'll classify that, as a frustrating miss. Well, we caught up on the Dream Tour. Let's see what's new on the Jump Tour.
처음에 제가 버디펫을 넣었을 때 굉장히 안 믿겨졌었어요. 처음에는 울컥하고 정말 좋았던 감정이 있었지만 그냥 꿈만 같았어요. 정말로. 올해 정말 목표는 정예원 따는 거였는데 이제 저의 올해 목표는 1부 투어까지 가는 걸로. 뭔가 먼 얘기라고만 생각을 했는데 이렇게 우승을 하게 돼서 일단 너무 기쁘고 빨리 엄마 아빠한테 자랑하고 싶어요. 상금순위 1위로 올라가면 드림투어 시드전을 안 쳐도 되기 때문에 다음 사전까지 더 좋은 결과로 마무리하고 싶습니다.
The Sola Go Country Club playing host to the 10th and 11th rounds of the Jump Tour this season. And saw a couple of players who couldn't help but flash an ear-to-ear grin for lifting their respective titles. Young Chin So, the champion of tournament number 11 of the season, with an unbelievable 8 birdies in that event, and Chae So-yoon winning round number 10 when he did an even par score of 72 to lift her trophy. Not quite ready to call them the stars of tomorrow, but maybe the stars of next week, if you will. A big prize of coffee on offer here at number 7. Certainly I would sign myself up for that. 6 iron at 7 for Park Young-kyung. Gonna land in the rough and kick out onto the green. It's a very wide putting surface, but definitely more right than target. Min-ji is next, and she is going with a 6 iron. Good shot indeed. Maybe let's bump that up a bit to a great shot. Birdie very much on the cards. Lee Mi-jung is 6 over the projected cut line, with a difficult start to her day. Her tee shot on the par 3 is going to get stuck in the tall grass. Not quite enough to roll on through. Welcome back. So wonderful to have you around for this second 18 of the Tucson Construction Weave Championship. So much, of course, still to be determined as we near the midway mark of the tournament. Park Young about ready to say she is firmly in the hunt here this week. If last week was about refining her game, this is really a chance to make a splash. That certainly would have helped her efforts. Unable to convert on that birdie opportunity. ENC is on an unbelievable start to her second round with her third birdie on the front nine. Minji, that's close. In fact, she burns over the inside edge, and she's going to need a second putt to convert the par. And a little loft, a little flop from the hillside rough. It's about 5 feet past the target from Yi Jung-min. Kimei Ream 6 under on 6. This would move her within 1, but she is not on the mark. It's a tricky 5-footer, but one she should have made. Disappointing tap and par will keep her 2 off the pace. A little shake of the head and frustration as well. Gung tees off at the par 5-8. Goes into the fairway off to the left.
하겠습니다.
Minji yet to really find her groove, her mojo in the second round. Driver hasn't been the reason for it. She has driven the ball well. Nice little curler. Pin very much to the right side of the green. Narrow landing area, and Lee So-young is able to navigate that well. Over to 10 with Chen Ye-sung after making a charitable donation from Tucson Construction, finding the target zone. She goes high, and unfortunately she goes wide. That's good. Excuse me, stop on the border of the fringe, well past the green. And following suit, like it's a simple walk in the park. 2 good approaches out of this group. Suji at the 9th. Full wedge should get her close. Back left and almost inch perfect. That is a sensational up. ENG, her second shot on the par 5. Gone in well, low loft, and just blazing through the fairway. And Park Young, her second, and also is a solid stroke. Next up is Iso Young at 8. Another opportunity to move within 1. Good approach. Now she just needs to capitalize. It is a tricky downhill putt. You can tell she was being cautious of it. Is it a little short? Bounce, but a shallow bounce. Left a little bit off that tee shot Kime Reem did. And also not able to convert on it. Shakes his head wondering what went wrong. And up like that, you would definitely expect to get down, but clearly number 8 showing its difficulty. We go to 10 next. Chunye Sung. This is at the fringe. Definitely a good whack, as it's an uphill effort. So it's about 1.5 meters past targets. Less than 100 meters to go, 95 to be precise for Park Young here at 8. Not as precise as she wanted to be. But still, birdie opportunity. And the struggles for Imi Jung unfortunately continuing. Now the driver has been plagued into the sand. She gets up decently well. A similar length putt for her birdie. And that leaves Bang Min-ji in the fairway. A 3/4 swing and a nice J-hook at the end, moving back towards the pin. The putter's got to come alive. No two ways about it. Back a hole to Kime Reem through the fringe and barely much more. to 9. Kimi and Biel just inside of the fringe and knocking down a birdie. It's only about 3 feet. Kim Soo-ji really taking her time here, and you can understand why. This birdie to 6 under, 2 back. She's got it there. Really good start to her round. 4 birdies on the way up to 32 and tied for 4th now. Already gone right. You can tell fairly early. Things just aren't clicking as they normally are for Imi Jung when she is in her best form. Park Young in a similar position to where Lee So-young had been just 1 hole ago. Started back. Not the line, maybe the speed to reach. So she will take her par and move on to the next. Kime Reem at 7. Needs us to save a par, but that's gone well left. And Bung Min-ji narrowly. You can tell she's getting closer. Just needs that 1 birdie to get her run started, but we'll sell for a par again and looks skywards. From bad to worse for Imi Jung, it is just one of those days. Nothing seeming to go. And as her 3rd bogey out the front 9, she is now down to +7 for the event. .135, 8 iron from the fairway on 9 for Lee So-young. She's well off. Skips left and beyond the green and up into the tall grass in the rough. Well, hole number 9 here, the final on the Valley course. 351 is its distance, a par 4. Slightly narrow fairway, and a slight dogleg left. From the in-play point off the tee, over the creek, past the fairway, a right side and very welcoming sand trap in 3 distinct stages of this green. Front 8th, middle 3rd, and the back as well, with everything sloping towards the front. For the 4th or 5th hole running, Park Hyung-gung will drive first. No drama on that tee shot. To the center of the fairway she goes. ENG trying to follow suit. Her final hole, the front 9, one that she won't remember particularly fondly. And now Lee Jung-min. She finds the green, but not quite on line. Back left is where she will end up, and now he's so young. After a little bit too much on the approach, trying to pick out a break point. To call this stance awkward would be a bit of an understatement. See how she recovers here, and just couldn't get the loft on it. Can't be overly surprised by that result. The upslope at the bottom of the green helps keep her on, but a long way off. There it is again. So tough to get underneath it. Almost have to come straight down at the ball. And just topped it a little bit and sent it skittering away. As we wait for her to recalibrate, readjust, check in on Lee Jung-min. is an outside look at a birdie on number 10. A long way back. It's going to start downhill and then ascend at the end. And slightly misaligned. Really good effort from a tricky position. Yu So-yeon too. Seeing her for the first time today. She's at 3 under through 10. And that's about to change. She'll be 4 under through 11 momentarily. An exceptional effort onto the green. Now it is recovery time for Lee So-young. Trying to save a par and stay within 2. Lengthy, uphill, and a little bit of right to left break on this putt. Oh my words! Putt of the day. Absolutely no business converting on that. And the putt of the day is a par. She goes out with a 36. Nice damage limitation. Well, her reaction, doesn't want to celebrate too much because she knows she put herself in a really tricky spot, but the conversion from that area is definitely one of the more impressive shots of this second round. And definitely she stays in the hunt. See if Chun Ye-sung is able to muster up any similar magic on 11. Will basically stop where she lands it on the green. And Lee Jung-min's slightly uphill putt saves her par at 10. Still 4 under. She's not quite ready, so we'll take a momentary departure and head to 8 with Kim Reem and her approach from the fairway. Keeping that momentum high as she nears the turn. Heads to that extreme right, where we had just seen Lee So-young and her groupmate wage their war for a birdie. Don't know that anybody needs a birdie more than Im Hee-jung. The irons and the wedges, pretty good today. Putter has been the weak link for sure. She's up and inching ever closer. And in four, Mimi Jung has no hesitation about that putt. But with a few struggles today, it is far from a certainty, but definitely one she could use. See how and if Park Young is able to follow suit. Just through the fringe, and here it comes. Maybe a little bit short of Imi Jung's effort, but no real complaints she can have there. And Peng Min-ji couldn't ask for a better drive. But she can ask the question if she can capitalize on it. I'd say so. Exquisite and one of her best of this Saturday afternoon. She's on the outside looking in and looking up, but that birdie moves her within four. And back to start this back nine on the Teddy course. A big kick and unable to stay on the green. Can't fault her for the effort and the bravery to go right at it. And Chun Yi-sung, a putt to become a third co-leader. Awfully close. But she'll stay at 7 under for one more hole at least. Back to 10, Kim Min-biel just past the fairway targets. Shouts for nice up, and for good reason. And really taking her time trying to navigate this break point. Hoping this isn't just a flash in the pan this week. Park Young needs to start this putt up the hill. Find the back rise. She has done so. But the alignment not quite on the money. Slightly closer, but a similar lay of the land for Im Hee Jung. Another hole and another opportunity gone by the wayside. It is the story of her round and story of her tournament to this point. We join Kim Soo-ji. High lofted white, just needs to pick this up. Trying to drop it on line at 10. Good weight. To move within one of the cuts, Peng Min-ji starts it above the hole and will not return online. Puzzling one. Definitely some wrinkles to iron out. She'll settle for a par.
Nice par!
And Kime Reem, chance to go to 6 under yet again, and this time she makes no mistake. A wave of celebration, a wave of relief, undoubtedly. Still one hole to go in her front nine. Kim Min-biol to go to 2 under. Give herself 2 strokes worth of wiggle room. Little right to left, downhill, but not on line. Puzzling one, to say the least. And they approach for Jungmin at 11. Trying to navigate this, and could have used maybe one more club to get all the way to the back. Quick reset and a par save. And no drum on this putt. With Hung Yumin really unable to take a firm grasp of this tournament, Kim Min-biol will know, especially on the back nine, she's got a golden opportunity. Chun Ye-sung's second at number 12, 138 meters to go from the fairway for her. Helpful kick is an understatement. Brilliant approach. Kim Soo-ji certainly battled to find her birdie. Now needs this par to stay within 2. Break is enough here to be problematic. But no such difficulties for Kim Soo-ji. She struts off in good shape. Finds herself on the bottom of the front page of the leaderboard within 2 with 8 holes to play. EA1 67, Chung Yoon-ji the same. But Hoda being 7 under for the day, up into a tie for 13th position, with the projected cut remaining at even par and our leaders at 8 under in the second round of the Tucson Construction Weave Championship. More on the other side of a short break. We're settling in for our final hour of 3 in this second round. Birdie's proving to be at a premium and a bit of a luxury down the stretch here. Lee Jung-min shortchanges her efforts. Settle for a tap-in finish here. And the back nines just about to begin for our featured group today. Park Young-kyung still teeing off first. And she's gone well left. Somewhere into the trees on the wrong side of the cart path. And trying to figure out how she managed that. And look at the face of the driver, that might give you some answers. ENG is next. Top-down view. Slightly off left. Not a terrible miss if you're going to miss at all. Fairly wide open fairway for Lee Jung, and in the social contribution zone. That's a 500, 1,001 donation, which can be a bright spot in an otherwise difficult day. I believe it's up to 40 million won in what was supposed to be a 4-round tournament, with the donations this week going towards environmental and underprivileged causes. And Kimi Reem on 9 is 149 meters back. Going to run it through the rough, but not get back on from that part of the fringe. Lee So-young, another hole, another chance to move within one. Breezes by, having missed left. She is snake bitten at the 6-under score. And isn't going to rush through the motions either. Mark off before attempting her par putt. And now Kim Soo-ji at 11. Just over 100 meters. She's going with pitching wedge. And pitching wedge was most definitely the correct club selection. And Lee So-young starting the back nine with a par. Could have been a heck of a lot worse. Bit of a fortuitous drop down from the tree branches. blue umbrellas of the gallery starting to really swell for our future group, and why not with the names participating in it. Well, she went bolds with that club selection. And she's actually going to be very, very lucky. And she's going to roll through the cart path, and even luckier that she avoids that tree. That should have been significantly worse than what it's going to end up being. I mean, if you're going to miss wide, good to do it on a downhill hole, I suppose. By the time it finally stops, it'll be nothing more than a little layup onto the green once she takes her free relief. Not able to find the fairway, but not the worst of lies for Pengmin-ji. Can't keep that on the green. In fact, she is well beyond it into the sand trap. Kim Min-byul is still 1 under, playing her approach at 11, and should be able to take one more step towards the top with a good approach from a unconventional starting position. We go to 12 with Lee Jung-min. It's a 7-iron from just a little less than 150 away. Doesn't get next to any loft. Makes a beeline onto the green, and her time on it is short-lived, at least on this approach. And that will be a disheartening one, to put it mildly. Unable to run it all the way up towards the flag. It is a difficult pin position today. We won't kid ourselves about that fact. Of course, the free relief will be taken, but getting a head start on her scout. Drops it to the inside of the cart path, of course. But the drop does little to improve her situation, so she will try it again. of a sudden it becomes a very important setup shot for par. She set herself up quite well indeed. Every now and then we get a reminder that these are not only the best in the country, but the best in the world, and that bit of short game play emphasizes, that point. Unsurprisingly, Kimi Reem unable to get there in one, but that will do little to minimize the damage. But back in the par path after her roller coaster few rounds to end the front nine. Kim Soo-ji grazes, but does not deposit that putt into the bottom of the hole. So a little nudge is needed. Bang Min-ji has found herself in the sand after not being able to pick her second shot out cleanly. And Lee Jun-min to save a par of this. Gonna have big time right to left break at the very end, but not in time. Kim Min-biel, and she is going to be stuck on that 1 under score for at least one more hole. Complicated look at birdie. Nothing to show for it once again for Min-ji. And an unorthodox and unconventional path down towards the green for Park Hyun-kyung. See that effort momentarily. In the meantime, we'll go to 13. 7 iron on the approach. This is Chun Ye-sung. Unable to find any of the green, and now Park Hyun-kyung par putt to stay within 2. Needs to straighten out. There it goes. Earmarked for the bottom of the cup. And she is able to save a par despite plenty of missed strokes to start this hole off. But you putt like that and it can buoy you, it can sustain you, as was Exhibit A there. Second on 11 coming from Isomi, 108 meters shy of the pin. And right at it. Oh, yes, an eagle. It certainly took a moment to make up its mind, and you can understand the absolute elation for Isomi. 2 birdies and an eagle, and with one swing of the club, moves inside of the top 20. 4 under. Here it is again. Well, the backspin helped her out in spades. And a little bit of drama. That last little dip. What a golf shot that was. Always love to see when people who do this for a living still find the joy in those special moments. Bungmin Ji, that was for a bogey. It's pulled, it's a double, and she needs to find 4 strokes on the way in. It's her second double bogey of the day, both of them at par 4s. A little less of a flair for the dramatic, but Lee So-young is on the green. Well, it's turned out to be a beautiful day, and no more signs of bad weather in the forecast either. We pan across the Teddy Valley Golf and Resort here in Soguipo-shi and see our leaders remaining. 2 of them at 8 under. Chun Ye-sung on 12, just 1 back with lots of golf, lots of time to make that a 3-way tie, if not an outright lead, at the top of this Tucson Construction Weave Championship. Well, far and away our shot of the day, and that is the best way to spend your time on the green by not needing to putt. Pairs the divot, removes the ball, and we carry right along. Kyung with a brilliant start to this next hole. We are 3:15 local time on Jeju. And we find Kim Soo-ji off the fairway at 12. 117 to make up. She's going with 9 iron, needing a little bit extra oomph to pry this free from the rough. She's not going to make it all the way there. She is short. The very bottom of the fairway. You can forgive a short approach with the pin placement as it is here in round number 2. Chun Ye-sung just mentioned how she is the closest challenger to our co-leaders. Here she is from off the green and inside of just a few inches. Nice lofted pitch. So she goes up and down in almost dramatic fashion for a par. And now he's so young. Border of the fringe, back of the green. She can move within 1. She was celebrating a bit prematurely. Her line was there. She brought with it a smidge too much speed, and that will deny her a birdie. Okime Reem also in a spot of trouble outside of the cart path. Rescue mission is underway. Maybe a bit fortuitous that this green is as long as it is, and she'll have the option to chip it or putt it back down into the little valley. The gallery growing in numbers. Every admission this weekend going also to the charitable foundations and initiatives that we have this week at Teddy Valley. Becoming a bit of a luxury time, and tee shot gets a friendly roll. Very makeable birdie as we go back to 11. Min Ji. That's much more like it, much better. The accuracy starting to be flaunted. And the green where they are headed, perfect view of the tree line separating the holes. The two sand traps to the left of the green, and the water even further than that. Isu Jin 3, Kim Min Sun 7, and their combined 36 hole scores of 8 under top the fields from the 120 that began it. Even par seems to be the score that we will cut the field from, and plenty of big names on either side of it. As our second round coverage of the Tucson Construction Weave Championship will continue after this brief break. in the home stretch with just over 30 minutes to go. Waiting for someone to declare that they have arrived and will be challenging. Amy Jung will not be challenging for the win, but she can absolutely celebrate those big putts, those big milestone moments like she just found with her first birdie of the day. The next effort finds just about the middle of the green, which is normally a very good thing, but a bit trickier when the pin placement is located to the left of the front. Kime Reem can't save her par. She lips out and will be going down. Tied for 18th now. Back-to-back bogeys and 3 in the last 4 holes. A few red flags, a few causes for concern. It is more than a formidable effort from Bak Yeon-gung, but she will be settling for par here. Lee Soo-mi, fresh off her eagle at 11, finds herself in a spot of trouble off the tee at 12. That will be a helpful rollback towards target. Not the way she wanted to reach the green, no doubt. Lee Mi-jung finally got the monkey off her back. Can Peng Min-ji do the same? No, she can't. Peng Min-ji might have got a little bit of her mojo back, which is great news for her, great news for us, but not so welcomed by the rest of the field, no doubt. Usually, this part of the season, these tournaments, we're telling you who can win this again, who's won it in the past, who's in the hunt. But only one of those questions persists, with this being the first year the Tucson Construction Weave Championship has been on the calendar. Lee So-young has not won anything yet this year. She'd love to once again add her name to the history books. She's hanging around, but hasn't been pushing. Mainly due to putts like that, where she is leaving herself with 5 yards all around the perimeter of the hole. Speaking of hanging around, speaking of Shada being in contention, Isomi, after her eagle at 11, reminded us all that she is still competing. Gonna snap left. Goes a little bit too early for her. She will follow up that eagle with a simple par. Par save time for Lee So-young as well. This is slightly uphill. She makes good on it. Birdie well has momentarily gone dry. The white collar of Peng Min-ji. Starting to pick up strokes. She's going to need a handful more from here to the finish line if she would like to make the cut and join us tomorrow. Certainly a more exciting broadcast and, more exciting tournament when she is indeed sniffing around on Championship Sunday. Park Young, oh, that's a great spot to land. Carries a little bit further from the flag. So Isu Jean 3, Kim Min Sun 7. Top two. In fact, they're sharing the lead. Chun Ye Sung with a handful of holes still to go. Might have something to say about it before we end our coverage here in round two. 3:37 local time on Jeju. We'll step aside and be back for more at Teddy Valley. Definitely in the time to try and start shaping the contenders from the pretenders. Kim Min Biel with a wonderfully executed three here for her first birdie since hole number 9. She is into a tie for 42nd at 1 under. And back at the tee at number 12. G, no drama. Well, it was supposed to be anything but. It's turned out to a borderline pristine day. Round number 2. Could see some showers tomorrow, but for the most part, we'll be off to So Guibo Shi with 1.2 billion won in the purse this week. 144 of that somehow settled and set aside for the leader. Lots to be decided still, just not on our side of the broadcast. We are in our home stretch. See some more jostling for position before we sign off for the day. Lee So-young was able to clear the creek with her second. Not quite able to retain a space in the fairway. That was her approach down. She put everything behind it. Not able to connect the dots and get herself onto the green in two. Well, from the 120 that began this event, we have score ranges from 8 under with our leaders to plus 14 with Chanana. Kim Ji-young too withdrew from this competition. Which means at the moment, 119 in the attacking pack, though it's certainly feeling like really only 4 or 5 have earned a position to have a say. Five wood for Park Young. Not reaching, but gathering more and more here. Chun Yi-sung has hardly put a foot wrong today. A rare misstep will cost her a stroke. From a 4-footer for par to just her second bogey of the day and her first since hole number 3. That drops her 2 back and into a tie for third position. This was Pacquiao. We saw her bobble, her stumble. Has 5 greens left to get back to even, which is our projected cut. Lets that opportunity slip through her fingers like sand. She'll mark off and not rush what becomes a pivotal putt for par. And Lee So-young next. From the fringe, just a little tap to get it started. Rolls through the fringe, but doesn't clear it, and that takes all the speed out of that chip. Next up will be Kim Min-biel. She and Peng Xin-sil both having missed the cut last week. Peng Xin-sil has missed it again in consecutive tournaments. Kim Min-biel with this putt, and a tricky one it will be. We'll go 2 strokes to the good. Too much snap, and she is unable to connect upon it. Go through the motions again, trying to deduce what had gone awry. Kim Soo-ji backpedals, taking one last look after making her fine adjustments. It's a big moment for her. Sole possession of third is hers with a birdie here. But she pulls it out of nowhere. An unspeakable miss. She will end up further away than where she had started that putt. Can tell some stress sinking in for both. Kim Min-biel does well to pull out from short range. Still trying to pinpoint what went wrong. Simply put, she mishit the ball. Now par save for Lee So-young. Trying to stay within 2. It is uphill, about a 6-footer. She fails to convert on that chance. So not only are we missing short birdies, we're missing short pars. Just the second of the round, and her first since hole number 1. She did want 2 looks at that putt, but she had to take it. And Kim Soo-ji netting a par. Chicken on Lee Jung-min. This is on 15, her third and short. Just trying to roll that through, but making a beeline for the sand, and that is where her approach ends up. Sung Min-ji waiting for the green to clear. Is there time time to glance down at that scorecard once again. Still waiting for the green light there, so in the meantime, we'll go to 15. Ijumi, she is 1 under and fires a dart right at her target and has a very, very makeable birdie. ENG will be the first to play here. Basically, some simple math. She needs 4 birdies in the next 5 to make the cut. Does well to set herself up for the first of those 4. Here it is again. We've been waiting for shots like this from the highly decorated pro. Kyung would be happy to have one of those of her own. Not quite as pinpoint accurate, but still very, very good. And semi-hidden by the bunker is Lee Jung-min. Just muscles and lifts that out. Be about a 7-foot putt to prevent a bogey. And that takes us to the end of our 3 hours. Lee Soo-jin 3, Kim Min-sun 7. 8 under, our co-leaders. Will they be there when we pick things up tomorrow? Tough to say at the moment, with some faltering beneath them. And at the moment, we know we have 119 in the field, but that cut is going to bring us down to about, we've refreshed the leaderboard here, 63, about half as it should be. A modified week, one that requires a lot of flexibility and patience, and so far, those two topping the lot here at the Tucson Construction Weave Championship. Get a bit of bonus golf for you today at the end of our second round coverage. The pin placements and the execution not doing any favors, unfortunately. It's an opportunity for Pak Yang. 16 is next. 205 meters the drive and well left. So using just about all the available fairway. Here's Chen Yi-sung. Plays that with some remarkable precision. The approach game for many has been close to perfect. It has been the execution putts that have prevented some low scores today. Peng Min-ji, she's definitely saving it for the bitter end. But her first birdie of the round comes here at 13. She has 5 more holes and she needs 3 more birdies in order to make the cut, but that will feel like a big weight off her shoulders. And Lee Jung-min, a roller coaster of a hole on 15. Wide right, short into the sand, up onto the green, and then missing the par putt. Speaking of par putts, Pak Yang to stay within 2, and she's got it there. Par 3 next. Lee So-young. 6 iron, 3 back. Grabs just enough of the green short right to move her back on line. Gets a little bit of luck. We'll see if she can take advantage of it. Lee Jung-min goes up to 2 under. Brilliant approach to get herself close. Her 3rd birdie of the day. And a round that has seen a couple of bogeys and a double. And Lee So-young too. High pitch on 16 to about 3 feet away. Up and down should be more than makeable from this point. And Lee Jung-min is down to 1 under after that bogey. A hole to forget. 3 in the last 4 now after a really good front 9. Chen Yi-sung, that was a pressure-packed putt, and it is a bogey. Back to back for her as well. That takes her outside of the top 10. We're on a bit of a down run. Let's see if we can avoid a bogey here on 14. Lee So-young for a par. Excuse me, for a birdie. Got a little bit ahead of ourselves. She does miss it. And this is the par putt. And a little tap, and the score is preserved and pushed over for one more hole. I have a feeling she'll rue that miss when she reflects back on the round. ENG trying to put together a nice little run. Misses the green entirely with her tee shot on the par 3, stopping in a little perch left of the green. Young's turn, 6 under and a 6 iron. Plenty of green with which to work. Just avoids the sand and then ends up being a brilliant tee shot. Pin high and well to the front right, exactly where she wanted to be. And now Kim Soo-ji, 122 on 15. It is nowhere near where she wanted to be. Plays the safety first approach, and that's fine. Takes par off the table. Takes birdie, off the table. So now we have reached our end. So we snuck in 10 extra minutes for you of this second round, and all in, despite a bit of a cold finish. We hope you enjoyed our second round coverage of this Tucson Construction Weave Championship. We will return to the air at the exact same time tomorrow, 1 p.m. local Korean Standard Time. Hope you'll be able to join us then. But for now, we bid you farewell and a pleasant rest of your Saturday evening. As we say thank you on behalf of our SBS Golf and Spot crews, and we look forward to having you back tomorrow. The leaderboard will be set, the field will be cut, and we'll push for a record-setting first winner of this tournament at Teddy Valley. So long, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.